Hey everybody, it's Flyin Ryan here with the review of the Star Wars BB-8 from Sphero. And now this is probably the coolest Star Wars RC that came out recently. It was hugely popular, sold out pretty much everywhere right away. Um, I've been asked to review the regular Sphero for a long time, so this was a great excuse to finally get one. It's basically a remote control ball. I mean, the regular Sphero is just a ball like this. It's all sealed, so I can't show you the insides. But it basically, it has like a counterweight, so it's heavy on the bottom, and then that rolls around and then inside the balls. So it just looks like the ball's moving around, and then this head here magnetizes onto the top of that. But it's a really strong magnetic hold. I mean, it stays on there quite well, and then it also has little wheels here on the head, so it rolls on the outside nice and easy. So the head actually stays pretty well centered as it moves. It doesn't move off center too much. It does a little bit, especially if you move fast and stop, it'll wobble a little bit. But as you use steady movement, the head stays pretty nice and centered on the top, which just looks really cool. It's all smartphone controlled. It's a Bluetooth connection, so you connect to it with your smartphone via Bluetooth, and then there's an app you use, and it's a really nice app. There's a lot of options. You can make this thing go patrol on its own, and it'll kind of notice if it gets hung up, and it'll move around. And there's like all this telemetry in it. It tells you, when it got hung up and all this kind of stuff, and you can make it like make it say yes and no. It'll like move its head and stuff like that, and it makes sounds, but only through the app. The RC itself doesn't actually emit sound, but it will make sounds through the app, like when it says yes and no and all this stuff, and if it's patrolling and gets hung up, it makes little like kind of angry sounds and stuff. So kind of cool. Gives it a little bit of a personality. And this little base station that it's sitting in is actually the charger as well. It's just kind of a, I don't know, a conductive charger or whatever. It doesn't actually plug in anything. You just set the RC on there and it'll charge. But you do have to connect a USB cable to it. It comes with the USB cable, but you'll plug that into a computer or power supply or whatever. So there is a cable coming off of this, but the Sphero itself doesn't actually connect via any plugs or anything. So that's pretty cool. It takes about 3 hours and 15 minutes to charge, so a pretty long charge time. However, you get about an hour of runtime, so a long, long runtime for such a small thing. So that's pretty cool. Um, the control takes a little bit of learning. Like there's a bit of a learning curve to it. There's like a blue light inside of this that you control with one side of the app, and so you can see the blue light inside move around inside, and so you line the blue light up so it faces you, and that's the back. So now whenever you move on the right stick, it's going to move the opposite direction of that blue, and the controls are always relative to you. So even if it turns around and is coming back to you, you move down on the app. So it's not like a regular RC where forward is always forward relative to what it's facing. The controls are always relative to you. So kind of like headless mode in a quadcopter, I guess. And so, you kind of got to get used to that, and you got to get used to, how much input to give to get a good controlled move. It's not super fast. I guess they have slowed it down quite a bit from the regular Sphero, just because if it went too fast, this head wouldn't be able to keep up with it very well. And then there's also a slider in the app where you can adjust the speed, so you can dial it down even more. And the slower it goes, the more realistic it looks, because that head can really keep up with it. So there's a little bit of a challenge getting a feel to how to move it around. But after like 3 or 4 times trying it, I've gotten pretty good at it. So it's not too hard, but don't expect to be great with it right out of the box. Um, the little wheels here can gather hair. So even if you're driving on smooth surface, the body will just kind of pick up little hairs and stuff, and then they'll get in those wheels and the gears So you'll want to kind of keep an eye on those, make sure that you keep those all clear of hair, because if they get clogged up, then the head's not going to stay in place as well. One thing I didn't like is that there is no battery gauge on the app, so you really have no idea how much life is left in this thing. And when you've got an hour-long runtime, that may take you 4, 5, 6 different times using this, so you really have no idea when the battery's about to die, which isn't that huge of a deal. It's not like you're gonna crash it or something because of that, but it kind of leaves you guessing what kind of runtime you've got left. Let's see, is there anything else to say about this one? The little antenna here they seem a little bit fragile. I mean, they've got some bend to them, but I would worry a little bit about those. If you dropped it, or I don't know, set something on it, you may end up breaking those antenna off. So you'll want to be a little bit careful with those. I guess I can show the packaging a little bit. The box is just really nice. It kind of reminds me of like Apple computer packaging. So this top slides off here. Oops, kind of messed it up a little bit. But then it just has this door that opens up, and then there's just kind of a card in there. It's got some quick information about how to charge it. And then you've got a nice foam insert, so the Sphero fits in there, and the charging station on the bottom. And then this little box here in the bottom is where the USB cable is stored. So really nice box, definitely reusable to store and transfer or transport your BB-8 in there. So you'll definitely want to keep that box around. But yeah, I guess that's about all there is to say about it. So we'll go ahead and take it for a drive around the kitchen. Oh, I did want to say too that wood floors are a little bit slippery for it, so it can actually, like, especially if you try to make a fast turn, it can actually kind of slide out of control. So a little bit of a grippy surface, like my kitchen floor, is perfect, like a linoleum tile where it's smooth but still has a little bit of grip to it, is the best surface. This can run on a little bit of carpet, like really short carpet. However, sometimes it doesn't want to get started, like it doesn't have the torque to get moving. But once it gets going, if you have to give it a little push or something, it will run on carpet pretty decently. But it's again, it's got to be really short carpets. But yeah, that's all there's to say about it. And so I'll show off the app more as I'm actually running it and stuff. So you'll see what the interface looks like and more of the features there. So let's go check that out. Alright, this is the run review of the Sphero Star Wars BB-8. Probably the coolest and best of the Star Wars RCs that were all recently released. We'll go ahead and start it up. We launch the app, and let it do its little intro here. You need to have Bluetooth on it. It'll automatically connect with Bluetooth. There we go. So you don't have to do anything to sync up Bluetooth. It'll just connect on its own, and just need to make sure Bluetooth is on your device. So lots to show with this one. You can send it out on an automatic patrol. This is pretty cool. It does messages, so I'll show these off first. It does like a holographic message, so it uses the camera and then projects a hologram, and you can actually kind of move the camera around and it stays projecting off of BB-8. So that's pretty cool. And you can record your own messages if you want. Let's see what R2 has to say. Oh, really? Okay, R2. Let's see, what does this guy have to say for us?
We're taking you into custody.
Oh, you aren't. So anyway, that's pretty cool, and you can record your own messages with the front-facing camera. But we'll go ahead and just drive now. The controls on this are a little bit strange. So to start this right thing here, when you rotate it, there's a blue LED inside the droid. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but you want to have that blue LED facing you, and that designates the back of BB-8. So now when I press up on this left stick, he's going to move opposite of where that blue dot was. And now the control is always relative to me. So when I move down, he's going to move forward towards me. So a little bit confusing to try to get used to, but once you get a feel for it, it is quite controllable. You see his head stays really nice and in place where it's supposed to. And you can also change the speed. I've got it turned down pretty as slow as it can go right now, just to make it easier to control in this small area and show it off. But yeah, I mean, once you get a feel for it, it's actually quite controllable. And then it has some automatic commands. If you press this button on the right, you can it keeps listening. So it'll shake its head no. No, shake its head yes. See if that showed up on camera. And then this one's like panic. He just kind of freaks out. And then you can swipe right on that, and there's a few other moves. So there's like a move in a square. You can do a figure 8 here. Let's have him do the figure 8. Oh, he ran out of room. Let's get him out in the middle of the room here and try that again. Figure 8. Not bad. Alright, so let's go back to normal me controlling it. And there is, oh, I've got to move the button. And in the bottom right here, this thing is like a speed button, so he just like does a little burst of speed real quick. But then it also has voice commands, so I can say like, come in BB-8. Come in BB-8. Now it's listening. How do you feel? Looks like that was kind of okay. It's a trap. That'll just make him run away. Kind of funny. Oh, he knocked his head off. He got so out of control. So that's kind of cool. You can just do some voice commands. Go explore. And he'll kind of look around on his own, and he'll notice when he runs into stuff and kind of maps the place out. Look around. No. Look around. There he goes. Oh no, not back there. Get out of there. Yeah, there's probably too many nooks and crannies in here to have him try that. Let's just go back to normal control. Alright, just do manual control. So it's pretty cool. I mean, once you get a feel for how to control it, especially if you keep it kind of slow, like you can just give little inputs and you can go slow. You don't have to go full speed. It is proportional. And so if you kind of just make slow movements, his head stays pretty nice and straight. It does kind of shake around and stuff. It's not super smooth movement, but it looks pretty convincing, pretty cool. Oop. Turn my phone upside down. Try to get down a little bit lower so you get a little closer view of them. Okay, BB-8, it's a trap. That's my favorite one, just to watch him run away. Alright, go back to manual control. So yeah, when you can say, come in BB-8, or OK BB-8, and then it'll bring up the listening, and then you can see all your different commands that you can tell it right here. Oh, I thought I said go explore. Alright, back to manual control. And you can turn off that voice recognition if it keeps accidentally triggering like it is while I'm talking. You can just turn it off so it doesn't happen at all. But yeah, I think I've showed all there is. There's quite a few options, but pretty cool, pretty fun little toy. Yeah, and that's low speed. Here, let me or no, I wasn't quite all the way down, a little bit up. Here, let's do full speed. Let's see what happens. Let's bring them back towards me so we've got some room. So not a huge difference in speed, but pretty fast. It's a little bit slower than the normal Spheros, I guess, from what I hear, because the you know, to keep that head on there, it can't move too fast, so they've got it slowed down a little bit. But that's, you know, pretty decent speed for what it is. Whoa! Whoa! I'm freaking out. So yeah, I like to keep it a little bit slower. It's definitely more manageable on slow speeds and looks more realistic. Alright, well I think that was it, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. That's the Sphero BB-8 from Star Wars. Pretty cool little toy. I think it is, you know, the coolest and, you know, most functional, best working of all the new Star Wars RCs. So this is definitely one to pick up if you're a fan. Alright, well check the video description for a price and purchase link. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.